Hi, it's Keith from the Evangelical Free Church Stony Stratford, and we're continuing our series of short talks in the Gospel of Luke. And today we come to Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 24. Jesus is continuing telling a series of parables in relation to the accusation that's been made against him by the Pharisees and the teachers of the law. They noted that Jesus hung out with the sinners and the lowlives of society. So Jesus, after telling two parables about how God seeks the lost, with the parable of the lost sheep and the lost coin, he turns to a much more human example. Just imagine it. You're watching a film, you're really enjoying it, you think you know where it's going, and all of a sudden there's the most tremendous twist, and you just think, for better or worse, I didn't see that coming. Let me tell you, this parable about the lost son or the prodigal son is just like that. People's jaws would have hit the ground twice as Jesus tells it because of the culture that it was relating to. Well, let me explain. First of all, there's a shocking request. The younger son, there's two sons, and the younger son requests his inheritance. This was absolutely shocking. My brother, who's a pastor, when he was preaching on this, researched for modern day examples. He found two. Both were in the Arab community. And one was an Arab father. His son requested this. His father threw the son out of the house and said, "Don't you ever come back." The second was an Arab who had converted to Christianity. He gave the son the inheritance and died soon afterwards. His wife said he died of a broken heart. This wasn't just insensitive. This was practically wishing your father dead. It was like a slap in the face. And the crowd would have been absolutely mortified when Jesus had said this. They couldn't believe anyone could be so insensitive. And it's even worse, when he's got this inheritance, what does he do? He goes off and he squanders it. The word Jesus uses is wild living. Later, in a confrontation with the older brother, he says to his father that he's basically not just had a wild living, he's squandered it on prostitutes. This is drink, drugs, prostitution in the modern terms. This is reprobation bait, isn't it? It's complete reprobate. You see, he followed his heart. He did what he thought was good. But the Bible warns us in Jeremiah 17, verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things. And we can misuse what God has given. Food, drink is good, but it can be wasted. Then there's a massive change of fortunes. He runs out of money, first of all, and he hits absolutely rock bottom. It says here that he hires himself out, verse 15, to someone to feed the pigs. And it says, verse 16, he longed to fill his stomach with the pods the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. It's not just a dirty job. It's an unclean job, ceremoniously. Jews and pigs did not get on in that culture. The pig was seen as an unclean animal. This guy's gone to the bottom of the heap. He's dropped as far as is humanly possible. But at that moment, he has a moment of clarity. And this is how it's described. Verse 18. I will set out and go back to my father and say, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men. So he got up and went to his father. He knows that his father's workers are better off than this, and he knows his father's a good man. At least to have food if he goes home. But he doesn't expect to be treated like a son. But here we get to the really amazing thing. His father has been waiting. It says, second part of verse 20, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son said to him, "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe, put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." So they began to celebrate. The father has been waiting. And here's another thing, this would have shocked people. The father runs to meet him. Men of wealth, which this man obviously was, didn't run in ancient Near East society. The other thing is the crowd probably would have been rubbing their hands together when the son said he was going to go home. They were probably thinking, Jesus, good one, you're going to point out your sin will find you out, quoting a verse from the Old Testament. But that's not what happens. You see, they expected the law to be enacted. In Deuteronomy 21, 18 to 21, there's a law that if a son was totally out of control and taking no notice of his parents, he was bringing shame on the community and his parents. And actually that could result in severe punishment. They were expecting, you see, at least the people of the village or town to stone him. But his father goes to him, so that can't happen. And more remarkably, he welcomes him back. This young man realizes he's sinned against his father. He sins against God by his breaking of the fifth commandment. But the father forgives. And just as we saw with the other two parables, celebration breaks out. Psalm 103 is particularly fitting here. It talks about the nature of God. It says this, verse 10, "He does not treat us as our sins deserve or repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him." Fear, coming, respecting, realizing that God is judge. Jesus took the punishment for us, and this parable is a picture of that. So when we seek to have our sins forgiven, God will forgive. Thank you for listening.